Now on Fast Track News, the Purdue Dance Marathon hit the dance floor at the Co-Rec on November 4th, raising money for the Riley Hospital for Children. How exactly do Boilermakers make a difference for Riley kids and their families?
Plus, meet West Lafayette's new mayor. Hear her perspective on the relationship with Purdue and the housing issues during her term in office.
And what are the most recent renovations at the Co-Rec that Purdue students can access? All your campus news, weather, and sports is straight ahead. Fast Track is back.
Happy Friday, Boilermakers. It's November 10th, and I'm Sydney Hollingsworth.
And I'm John Waterworth.
John, do you like to dance?
I bust some moves every once in a while.
Okay. Then you will love the top story today. It's about a 16-hour dance marathon. It's a yearly event held by the Purdue Dance Marathon Student Organization to raise funds to support Riley kids and their families.
Take a close look at the event and what the Purdue Dance Marathon did this year. Reporter Ellie Akra has the story.
Purdue University Dance Marathon is the largest student organization on campus. With the goal of raising money and awareness for Riley Children's Hospital, the club hosted their annual dance marathon last weekend.
It's just so meaningful to see thousands of students gather together and over one cause and something that they're all so passionate about, and just have a selfless group of people that dedicates themselves to that because it's so rare. And when you're on a college campus, it's really easy to serve yourself and think about what's next for your career and what's next for academics if you go to grad school or master's or anything like that, and it's very self-serving. And so taking time to serve other people, and let alone a hospital where kids are getting less time, and this is like the next generation, and this is what's going to make up the next generation of Boilermakers.
And the dance marathon goes deeper than raising dollars.
Yeah, one thing that PUDM really values is our legacies. So we have 5 different PUDM legacies. Braylee Kellogg, she passed away this past year. David Feltner, he was in Pi Caps. Ben Harmon was in Sigma Chi. John Romine was in Farmhouse. And then Tyler Trent, which is a bigger name that a lot of people know. And getting to connect with those families is very important to us. And so our movement in PUDM is to make sure that those people are never forgotten and that their story lives on even though they're not with us presently.
Purdue students and legacy families aren't the only participants in attendance. Riley kids come from near and far too, sharing their stories and taking part in the festivities.
So we've done making bracelets, came here, did Riley stories, and then just hang out. My favorite part of being here at PUDM is being with my friends.
Riley kid Addison's mom tells us it's not only about what Purdue does to help Riley, but what they do to help the kids.
I'm just super proud of the kids, no matter what that number is, up, down, sideways, know that you are making a difference in these kids' lives.
And make a difference they did, raising over $658,000 while connecting with kids at Riley and having fun. Reporting for Fast Track News, I'm Ellie Akra.
If you're looking for a student organization to get involved with on campus, you can find PUDM on Instagram at Purdue Dance Marathon.
It has been an interesting few weeks of weather in West Lafayette, but what can we expect next week?
Will the warm temperatures and sunlight stick around, or are we going back to sweater weather at Purdue?
I hope not.
Fast Track meteorologist Veda Kirsch is here with our first look at the weather.
Yes, we actually are going to see our temperatures continue to rise a little bit from where we are right now. So it's going to get pretty warm out there, pretty unseasonable for our late time in November here. But for now, we're sticking with temperatures around the mid to high 50s with a low of 36 for today. Winds are going to be trending between 5 and 12 miles per hour with absolutely 0% chance of rain. So it's a great start to our game day weekend. But walking you through a little bit what we're going to see hour by hour today, we're starting at 52 degrees here at 12 p.m. We're going to push those temperatures up a bit more to 54 at 3, and then we're going to cool down into a pretty cool evening, all the way down to 36 by midnight tonight. Our wind speeds are actually going to be pretty intense for today. We're starting at 9 miles per hour. It's going to go up to 12 miles per hour in the middle of the day. It's going to be calm at the end of our day here with 5 miles per hour winds, but sun across the board. Absolutely no precipitation today. The weekend, we're sticking with that same trend here. Temperatures at 51 on Saturday. 55 on Sunday, but all sun across the board. It's going to be a beautiful weekend, so make sure that you get outside and watch the game, Boilers.
The city of West Lafayette has a new mayor. Aaron Easter officially won the election on Tuesday, November 7th. Easter, a Democrat, ran unopposed and was endorsed by current mayor and Republican John Dennis. Dennis opted not to run for another term due to health issues. In a chat with Fast Track, Easter shared her vision for collaboration between the city government and Purdue University, along with her plans to address affordable housing.
So there are two distinctions I want to make. One is, between small A and big A affordable housing, whether that just means that it's subsidized or if it's just accessible, right? Accessible housing is another issue that we have because we have such a deficiency in housing. A couple of other issues that are really important, I think, in the relationship between Purdue University and the city of West Lafayette, in addition to housing, are early childhood education and healthcare. The relationship with the city of West Lafayette and Purdue University is one of the most important relationships that we have. We are extraordinarily fortunate that between West Lafayette, Tippecanoe County, and Purdue, that we've had a lot of collaboration over the last many years, but especially in the last decade. And it will only continue to be the most important collaboration that we have. As is different from Lafayette and West Lafayette, you're crossing a river. Purdue is contained within the city, and so there's no turning our backs on each other. We truly have to work together in everything that we do.
Easter celebrated the success of her 2023 campaign after the results came in at the Black Sparrow in Lafayette. She will officially start her first term on January 1st, 2024.
And in more news from election night, Purdue student Lila Vedamanis was elected to the West Lafayette City Council.
Lila spoke with us Wednesday and said running for office has always been a goal, and now it's one she gets to fulfill in her college years at Purdue. Lila's campaign began in full force this August after a friend contacted her about the open seat. Through the process of campaigning, Lila tells us she had support from Democrats in West Lafayette, including Mayor-elect Aaron Easter and Councilmember Stacey Burr. Priorities for Lila include affordable housing, city infrastructure, and the environment.
And what else is she most excited for?
I think the thing I'm most excited about is that I can have conversations with students, and if they have an issue that they're concerned about, it's a very kind of a direct link, I guess. It's it's easier to kind of talk to someone like a peer.
To contact Lila, you can email lilapops with a Z at gmail.com. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, and Purdue has been honoring military-connected individuals in numerous ways, including a field of flags. Take a look. Just south of the Purdue Memorial Union, flags were placed in the ground where they have remained all week. Each one represents a military-connected student, staff, or faculty member. These individuals are also able to pick up a flag at the Dorothy Stratton Veteran and Military Success Center. That's in room 284 at the Union. Also happening today, there will be a Veterans Day ceremony in the Union Great Hall from 2 to 3 o'clock. Thanks to all our veterans for your service, including our own fast-track meteorologist, Veda Kirsch.
A former president of the World Bank is joining Purdue University starting January 1st. According to a university news release, David Malpass will serve as the Distinguished Fellow of International Finance at the Daniel School of Business and the inaugural Fellow of Global Business and Infrastructure at Purdue at DC. Purdue President Mung Chiang called Malpass a truly impactful leader who was at the helm during major disruptions to the global economy, including the pandemic and the sharp increases of inflation and interest rates. The university says Malpass will split his time between Washington, D.C. and West Lafayette.
It's Purdue First Gen Celebration Week. In 2023, around 15% of Purdue undergraduate students identified as first generation. To honor these students, along with staff, faculty, and alumni, Student Success Programs hosted the Proud to Be First reception this past Tuesday in the PMU North Ballroom. Some first gen students shared their learning experiences and advice with Fast Track.
Being a first generation student means opening up opportunities to yourself and also to those who look up towards you, like younger siblings, for example. I know my younger siblings are very excited about Purdue, especially because I come here and it's one of the biggest schools in Indiana.
I feel welcome, this is a university that cares about their students. I always felt if I needed any help, I know my teachers and my advisor was always there to help me in case I had any questions. So I felt really welcome coming in here at Purdue.
I would say just to be your authentic self. You matter and you're here for a purpose and a reason. So don't think that you're limited to only doing certain things or learning a specific major. So continue to branch yourself out and just represent yourself and continue to break those generational curses.
Up next, the CoRec saw some big changes over the summer. Have you seen them yet? If not, You're in luck. We'll show you around.
And still to come, a preview of Purdue Theater's latest production and why some alumni visiting campus are in the spotlight. All this next.
Football. It's the best time of the year. You know what else is great? The world's largest and fastest mascot. You can't have Purdue football without the trains. Look for the Reamer Club outside Stewart Center, 12 to 5 p.m. on Fridays before home football games, for your chance to ride the Boilermaker Special for free. See you then!
This fall, students got to see a newly upgraded co-rec that went through some pretty major renovations.
Reporter Samuel Roos has the story.
Originally finished in 2012 for $98 million, Purdue's France A. Cordova Sports Recreational Center, better known as the Co-Rec, has just finished its first major round of renovations.
So it looks great. I love what they did. It allows for a lot more space so more people can come and work out, because before I know it was pretty congested, so it opens up a lot more space and a lot more opportunities.
The lower gym now has various new exercise machines, and the multi-activity court has been converted from a club space into new volleyball, badminton, and pickleball courts.
I really like the turf area. Just with that, like, they add new things like tires that you can flip and a sled that you can add weight to just kind of do new exercises. It's added a lot more versatility in my workouts where I can try new exercises, use new equipment.
But those aren't the only changes that have come to the Co-Rec. The updated ID card systems being implemented around campus have also been implemented here.
So pairing with Purdue, you now can have your Purdue ID in your Apple Wallet and Google Wallet, allowing you to tap in quicker. You can also use the official Purdue RecWell app to download a barcode and use that to scan in instead of using a physical ID.
The renovations were an effort to spread out students who were waiting in long lines for exercise equipment. If that ends up becoming a reality, all we can do is wait and see. This is Samuel Roos for Fast Track News.
Well, I don't know about you, John, but I've been loving that new turf area. My body hates it while I'm pushing the sled, but it's a great workout. If you'd like to see the changes, the Co-Rec is open every day of the week.
Looking for something to do around campus? Check out Purdue Theater's latest production called Faustus, That Damn Woman. The play is an adaptation of the myth of Faust, a man who strikes a deal with the devil. But in this version of the story, Faustus is a woman. The production follows her journey through hell as she tries to reckon with herself and the world around her. The show opens tonight in Powell Hall, but if you can't snag a seat for this weekend, it runs next weekend as well. Visit Purdue Theater's website to purchase your tickets.
You may have noticed campus was filled with many Purdue alumni over the weekend. This past week, Purdue's Old Masters program wrapped up its 73rd year of hosting Purdue alum. Since 1950, the student-run organization hosts 10 outstanding and distinguished Purdue alumni every year to share their professional experiences with the Purdue student body. The Old Masters program honors those who have given of themselves and achieved much success after graduating from the university. Fast Track sat down with Old Masters Central Committee's directing co-chairs Russell Kleiner and Elena Chua-Prazert to hear their perspective on how this year's program went.
Everything leads up to these last 3 days. And by and large, I have not heard anything opposing this. It was a tremendous success. People really felt this program. And there was the emotion in the air. There's this chemistry in the air between all of the events.
So what I love about Old Masters is that the people who are not directly in the Old Masters organization are able to come. And from the feedback we've got, they were so impacted by our Old Masters. They thought it went so amazingly, and they are inspired, truly inspired, which is so amazing to hear. Our program connects alumni with the students, and it really inspires students, whether or not they are in Old Masters or if they're just in the student body. That's what we are always trying to sell. Just the fact that you can do so much more with your Purdue degree. And if you join Old Masters, if you experience what Old Masters has, your life can be completely altered.
If you are interested in learning more or joining Purdue's Old Master program, check them out on Instagram at Purdue Old Masters.
Coming up on Fast Track here, we are tracking our game day forecast, and I can walk you through hour by hour what you can expect for our Saturday against Minnesota. But you also are seeing an A+ forecast, so in my world that means sun all across the board for our upcoming week. A+ score gets 100% from me, but we're also going to see our temperatures rise looking into the middle of next week, so come back to hear more about this on Fast Track.
What does it take to be a Purdue tour guide? You've got to know your history. You have to know your facts. You've got to have that Purdue spirit. And you have to walk backwards.
Good afternoon, Boilers. I'm meteorologist Veda Kirsch and bringing you the weather for today. We're seeing our high at 55 degrees today, so it's pretty comfortable outside. A little bit chilly with our low at 36 degrees tonight, but we have sun all day, so it's going to be warming us up for that. And winds are going to be going in between 5 and 12 miles per hour, so you might notice that it's a little bit windy out there for your walk to class, but absolutely 0% chance of rain today. And we're actually sticking with that for our game day tomorrow. So we're playing against Minnesota at Ross-Ade. At 12 p.m., we're going to see our temperature at 47 degrees, so a tailgate might be a little bit chilly. You'll definitely want to bring a jacket with you. It's going to be feeling like 44 degrees because of that wind chill that's out there. So as the wind picks up, you might notice the temperatures are going to feel a little bit chillier. For our 3:30 p.m. kickoff here, we are seeing more sun. Temperature will get up to about 51 degrees outside with that wind chill feeling like 49 degrees. So definitely make sure you're bringing a jacket with you into the stadium. And then for 6 p.m. around the end of the game here, we're going to see temperatures go down to 45 degrees. It's going to feel like 42 out there. So a little bit chilly, but sun's going to keep it very pleasant and nice out there for our game against Minnesota tomorrow. But rest of the weekend, we're sticking with this very nice weather. It's going to be all sun across the board. Sunday, we're going to pick those temperatures back up to 55 degrees there. Lows not going to drop down below 30, not yet, so we don't have to worry too much about those freezing temperatures, but it is going to be down to 31 on Sunday there. So I want to talk a little bit about why we're seeing such nice weather for the rest of our week here. We actually have this high pressure system that's sitting all the way around the Mid-East here and kind of covering most of the eastern United States. And so when you have a high pressure system, you're going to see this clockwise rotation. So right now we have these northerly winds that are blowing down into the region. It's keeping us a little bit chillier, but I want to show you what happens as this high pressure system moves east. So as this high pressure system comes down here, the winds are actually going to resituate themselves and bring up all of that warm southerly air into the West Lafayette region. So as this happens, we are going to notice with this sun that's continuing a temperature trend going up. It's going to be increasing here. So we're starting at 55 degrees, going to get down a little bit chillier into 51 as we have those northerly winds. As that high pressure system moves east, we're going to get those southerly winds picking up. Going to put us all the way at 64 next Thursday here. So we already are actually trending very high above where we should be for the middle of November. Taking a look at our temperature trend from 1991 to 2020, most of our averages have been sitting around 44 all the way down to 41 for next week on Thursday. So we already are pretty lucky to be experiencing these well above average temperatures, but we're going to see them pick up a little bit more. So tracking this on our 7-day here, Friday we're noticing 55 degrees, cooling down just a little bit for our game day on Sunday down to 51, but all sun across the board, so good news there with that. Sunday getting back up to 55, and then this gradual increase of temperatures all the way up to 64 on Thursday. Clouds are going to roll in a little bit on Thursday there, but nothing to be concerned about because we will have those pretty warm temperatures. So our lows are going to drop below 30 degrees. We have our lowest on Saturday here with our lowest high. So looking like a very beautiful week, and it gets an A+ score from me, Boilers.
Just ahead, basketball season is officially here, and the number 3 ranked Boilers got off to a great start. I'm Alex Kuban. Don't go away. Sports is next.
I mean, every year's different, but it hasn't changed that much. Our league is just ominous, and you better lace them up tight and be ready to play every night. If not, you're going to get beat.
This past Monday night, a sold-out Mackey Arena witnessed a Boilermakers win, as well as 2 new banners added to the rafters. Last season, Purdue captured its conference-leading 25th Big Ten regular season championship, while also winning their 2nd Big Ten tournament championship. After the celebrations ended, the Boilers tipped off the regular season against the Sanford Bulldogs. Fast Track sports reporter Sebastian Lux has the story.
Purdue basketball tipped off their 2023 regular season in front of a sold-out Mackey Arena this past Monday night. The season started in interesting fashion, to say the least, as Sanford sent out 5'8" guard Dallas Graziani to tip off against the 7'4" Zach Edey. Edey did not even have to jump, as the Boilermakers won the tip easily and were off and running. The Boilers started out of the gate scorching as they scored the first 11 points of the contest, as Purdue could not miss from behind the three-point line. As a whole, the Boilers connected on 16 three-pointers on the night. Leading the way were sophomore starters Fletcher Lawyer and Braden Smith, each connecting on 4 shots from behind the arc. All eyes, of course, were on the big guy, as last season's Naismith Player of the Year and consensus All-American Zach Edey had a very productive day despite only playing 20 minutes. Edey did not attempt a shot until well into the first half, but finishes with 16 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Purdue went to the break up 51-17, allowing Coach Painter to give ample minutes to the rest of the roster. One player to keep an eye on, Miles Colvin. It was the highly anticipated regular season debut for the standout freshman, and he did not disappoint. Colvin finishes with 8 points on the night, but gave just a glimpse of what's to come, as he shined with several highlight plays, including an alley-oop, as well as a chase-down block. Purdue runs away with this one with a final of 98-45. Reporting for Fast Track News, I'm Sebastian Lux.
The Boilermakers will look to improve to 2-0 in their game tonight against the Morehead State Eagles at 7 o'clock in Mackey Arena. Morehead State is 1-1 on the year and is projected to finish near the top of the Ohio Valley Conference. Purdue's next home game after tonight is against Xavier on November 13th. Purdue women's basketball had a rough season opener against the UCLA Bruins on Monday night. This was the first time the two teams have matched up since 2006, and UCLA walked away with a 92-49 win. While the final score might not look great, there were some bright spots for the Boilermakers. Both Caitlin Harper and Abby Ellis led the team with 10 points, and freshman Mary Ashley Stevenson looked solid in her debut, logging 8 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists in 27 minutes. Here's what Coach Katie Geralds had to say.
You know, we weren't exceptionally great, but they were just really, really good. Just kept coming with size. 6'7", 6'4" started, and then 6'4", 6'4" come in, and just to top that, they had the speed, the athleticism, the strength on the perimeter. Yeah, it was a tough night for our ball club, but UCLA is, you know, there's a good chance we see them in Cleveland in the Final Four. Yeah.
The Boilermakers will have their home opener on Sunday at 4 against the Southern Jaguars. Come out to Mackey Arena because the team will also be hosting a halftime ceremony for the 25th anniversary of the 1999 National Championship team. It was another tough weekend for the football team, who fell to the Michigan Wolverines 41-13. The defense gave up 20 points in the first half, but gave the offense plenty of opportunities to climb back in the game in the second quarter. Ultimately, Hudson Card was only able to go 12 of 28 for 144 yards. The 13 points allowed by the Michigan defense was the most that they have allowed all season to any opponent. The loss officially will make Purdue bowl ineligible this season. But looking ahead to Saturday, Purdue hopes to bounce back against the Minnesota Golden Gophers at home. Minnesota is 5-4 on the season and ranked 4th in the Big Ten West with a 3-3 record against conference opponents. Kedron Jenkins and Nick Scorton are two players to look out for come Saturday. The two lead the Big Ten in sacks and are currently ranked 14th nationally. The two also have more tackles for loss than any other duo in the Big Ten this season. The honorary captain for the game will be George Karlaftis, who most recently won the Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs as a rookie. Kickoff is set for 3:30. Purdue women's volleyball played a tightly contested game this last Sunday at Holloway Gymnasium. Purdue went up early, winning the first 2 sets of the game, but the Nittany Lions came back fighting, winning the next 2. The Boilermakers ended up pulling out the win in the final set by a score of 15-12. The win brought the Boilermakers back up to the number 16th ranked spot in the country, with a 15-8 record overall and a 9-5 record in the Big Ten. Chloe Chiquen had a dominant night with 27 kills. Ava Hudson was not far behind with 24 kills on the day. Altogether, the Boilermakers came away with 69 kills to only 59 for Penn State. The Boilermakers' next game is set for tonight against the Minnesota Golden Gophers, who are 12-10 on the season and 8-6 in the Big Ten. The game is set to take place in Minneapolis at 7 o'clock. The Boilermakers are looking to improve their away record to 6-3 on the season and continue to climb in the Big Ten standings. That's a wrap for sports, but stay tuned. Fast Track will be right back after this quick timeout.
Now it's time for our question of the week. What song are you currently listening to?
Fast Track's Sarah Foodie asked students to take out their earbuds and let us know. And some of the answers were pretty nuts.
What song are you currently listening to?
Zenith by Denzel Curry.
Perfect, thank you.
Day by day, night by night, no eye and no sight. Catch me on the Xeno like I'm Hercules and Xeno.
What song are you currently listening to?
I'm listening to Girl of My Dreams by Juice WRLD.
Your legs going away, you falling for me. The same way that the rain falls.
I'm listening to Poppies by Marcy Playground.
Long ago, in China I'm told.
What song are you currently listening to?
I'm listening to Savage Anthem by Party Next Door.
Don't trust me to capture the moment. Forgive me, it just was a moment.
What song are you currently listening to?
I'm listening to Too Many Nights by Metro Boomin.
Perfect, thank you. Have a good one. What song are you currently listening to?
But I've been forgotten, now, Joe. I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Vader Kirsch is back with one final check of our forecast.
Taking one last look at our forecast here, we're noticing that we have 55 degrees today for our high. It's going to get a little bit chillier for our game day on Saturday, down to 51 degrees with a low of 30. So definitely take a jacket with you out to Ross-Ade for our game against Minnesota. But not to worry, we are going to be picking up the temperatures a little bit, back to 55 on Sunday, ramping all the way up to 64 on Thursday here. All sun across the board, a little bit of cloud cover here on Thursday, but overall it's looking like an absolutely beautiful week, so make sure you're getting outside and enjoying this beautiful weather, West Lafayette.
Don't forget to check out all the news and behind-the-scenes videos on our Instagram channel.
And that's a wrap for this week's edition of Fast Track News. I'm John Waterworth.
And I'm Sydney Hollingsworth. Have a great weekend.